Ya Allah, amin. Di pagi Jumaat yang mulia. Okay, so proceed with the next one. Okay, today we are cover on the non-current asset and bank and cash. Okay, also the last part is on non-current liabilities. Okay, for the non-current asset, okay, you are going to look at on the key control, okay, of the non-current asset lah, tangible non-current asset, including the physical custody and authorization of purchase. Okay, remember during our purchase control procedures, okay, last week code. Okay, we have I have explained to you that regarding the purchases, okay, they might also consider the purchase of the non-current asset. So for the purchase of non-current asset, the procedure for purchase is still same. Okay, procedure for purchase same. Okay, you must look at the approval. Okay, so because purchase of non-current asset here, okay, will incur a big money. Okay, big money. Purchase of machine, purchase of building, purchase of office equipment. Okay, it will incur or it will involve lots of money. So normally the decision is made in the board of directors meeting. Okay, so another document that you have to look is minutes of board of directors meeting. Okay, so I will share the screen. Okay. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we will look at in terms of the current asset. So on the existence, okay, control objective regarding the current non-current asset is on the physical custody, okay, of the non-current asset. Okay, the physical custody of non-current asset. And also the authorization of purchase. So this is what I talked just now, and the disposal. Okay, so this one you have to relate back what you have learned in accounting on the current asset. On the non-current asset. Okay, so the control objective you have to look at in terms of the existence. Okay, properly accounted and recorded of the non-current asset.
Madam,
Yes.
we actually cannot see what you are presenting.
Tak nampak okay, wait. Stop sharing. So everybody cannot see the screen.
Nampak Google
Tak
Meet.
nampak dekat Google Meet.
Oh, okay, sekejap. Stop sharing dulu. Sekejap. So, okay, you see Google Drive. Sekejap. Okay. Okay. You okay? Nampak tak?
Kalau saya nampak macam warna biru macam tu.
Oh,
Nampak
tak
Madam.
nampak Sekejap Buat share. Stop sharing. Allah. Sekejap. Okay, clear? Dah nampak?
Dah.
Dah nampak dah? Okay, boleh? Okay. So, okay, you have to look at in terms of the existence, okay, the recording procedure. Okay, so kita still remember, you have to remember or you have to recall back what are the key control. So first on the adequate document and record. Okay, physical custody of the asset. Okay, proper approval. Okay. Next is segregation of duties if possible. Okay. So these are the key control that should exist when you evaluate the control system on the non-current asset. So on the existence, accounted and recorded, that is on adequate document record, security arrangement, physical custody, maintain the non-current asset maintained properly, that is under physical custodian of the asset. Non-current asset acquisition are authorized, so that is under proper approval and authorization. So this one, okay, you have to look at in 1 to the minutes of board meeting. Okay, who approved the purchase and look at to the document of purchase. So you have same as what you do in the purchase process. Okay, and then non-current asset disposal are authorized. Disposal of the non-current asset and proceed of disposal are accounted. Depreciation rate are reasonable because this is under estimate figure, and all income from income yielding non-current asset is collected. So that is the control objective, to ensure that and the control activities should exist, segregation of duty, maintenance and so on lah. So you have to look at in terms of the area, okay, what we discussed just now, the 4.1 security, this is under physical custody of the asset, security and maintenance. This is on the acquisition, which is the authorization, and then on the depreciation, what should you look into, and on the income if the asset is disposed. Okay, and what are the most important things on the things that the document that you have to look into for the non-current asset is asset register. Okay, I share you the example of asset register. Okay, maintained in the where is the asset register? Wait. Oh, okay. I should find out in the Google Drive. Sample of non-current asset register. Okay, can you see on the screen the sample of asset register? Yes.
Nampak.
Okay, good. So these are the document, okay, that maintain, okay, in the asset register, okay, in the company. So if you look at to your book, okay, you have the cost, okay. So I think tak boleh besar. Do you see it clearly or need to be more bigger?
Can you zoom
Macam
in?
tak besar.
More bigger, madam.
So macam mana nak besarkan? Ni ke? Bukan. Increase font size. This one ke? Or this one. Sekejap. Is it okay? Ke besar lagi? Okay. Can you see more bigger now? More bigger picture?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So you have the asset head, so means that the name of the group number of the asset, okay, the group number, asset name, description of the asset. So when is the purchase date? So you have to look at the installation of the asset or the purchase date of the asset. This one you have to check back to the invoice. Okay, and the current price, why you need to put the current price? Okay, because since the asset having the impairment, okay, impairment losses, and they might have a current the market price. Okay, so we not use only the cost price, but we look also to the current price of the asset. And the depreciation rate and depreciation for the year. One is rate, okay, one is total. And what is the remark, okay, the company put. So whether it is a good good location, good condition, and to put it in the remark. So this is what the company do. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see the details of the asset?
Boleh besarkan sikit lagi tak, madam?
Yeah, I try. Can you see now? Better?
Yeah.
Yes, better.
Okay. So this is the asset code. So it depends on the company. What is the code of the asset? They put it according to their system. Dalam SQL system or in their accounting system. Okay. So it must be same in their asset register also. So some company they maintain their own asset register system. So you have to get that asset register, okay, when you want to evaluate the internal control system of the company on the non-current asset. So these are the operations related equipment. Okay, so they are the loose not counting machine. So this is in terms of the branch, manufacturing company, production department dia ada counting machine, dia ada bundle not counting machine. So depends on the company lah what terms they use for their asset. So when you do audit, you have to get all the list, okay, of the asset. So all the list that they stated in the non-current asset register here, okay, when you check it, so you have to check it whether the asset is physically exist. So this one yang tadi kita tengok, okay, this one, yang ni. See the what you have in the asset register here. Ada screen satu lagi I share ni. Ini daripada textbook. Nampak?
Nampak.
I overlap the asset register. Boleh So when you come to the when you audit the company, so on the interim audit, okay, you must ask, okay, inquire their non-current asset register. Okay, So what should you look into? The tangible non-current asset that exists. So here, okay, on the existence of the, this one, the existence of the non-current asset. So you have to look at, okay, the non-current asset register. So you have to look, okay, the cost, addition, total depreciation, serial number, description, location, manufacturer and supplier, insurance and detail. So when you look at to the asset register here, they will give some answer regarding the maintenance, okay, of the asset, okay, in terms of the maintenance and inspection to the current asset, whether it is properly maintained and still in use. Okay, still in use. Okay, so that's why, okay, you see the asset register of the company. Okay, so you will look at whether all these asset, okay, all these asset stated, the types of assets stated in the detail of asset here, okay, are exist or not. Okay, and then the security system, okay, in terms of CCTV, right? Okay, CCTV, camera, recorder, video, all they have to list here. Okay, some company they might put the description of asset, the model number, serial number, manufacturer name, year of purchase, purchase value, annual maintenance. Okay, annual maintenance and period of contract. So if the amount is lease, okay, leasing contract, and the current status of the asset, whether it is good condition or in the apa tu, maintenance with the supplier and so on. Okay, is the asset is in good use or sent for repair and so on. So that is what you look into the non-current asset register. Okay. So so any question on that? So you can compare the non-current asset register act as a point of comparison against which the non-current asset that physically exists, okay, and you can compare with the general ledger. So you will see that the transaction is completely recorded. Okay, completely recorded. So the most thing that you have to look into in the non-current asset test control activities is the asset register. So this is the control objective and the control activities. For the non-current asset are properly accounted for, you have to look at in terms of maintenance. Segregation of duties is also important if the company have a different department. If the company is only a small company like what you have yesterday, Jessica, okay, Jessica, where they operate in a small business. So normally the segregation of duties is very hard to apply. Then the involvement of the owner, okay, should be higher. And then security arrangement. So again, look at to the maintenance and then physical inspection to the non-current asset. Okay, agree to register of asset and it should be properly maintained and used. And then look at also in terms of the precaution, okay, against the theft or misuse of asset. And safeguard, okay, should be applied to ensure the asset are not stolen or damaged. And okay, the portable asset, example laptop, should be tagged and movement in and out of the entity's premises recorded. So if the asset, bring outside the entity. So what are the recording procedures of the asset? Apa lagi? Non-current asset acquisition authorized. So acquisition of the non-current asset. Application for capital expenditure should be submitted to the board for approval. So you have the board meeting here. Okay, because it involves a big amount. And it should be under the capital expenditure budget. And then this is regarding the disposal. Okay, non-current asset disposal are authorized. Disposal also authorized. So if the company going to dispose their asset and proceed from disposal are accounted for. So any gain or losses should be accounted for. Okay. And then should look at in terms of the authorization of sales, scrapping of or transfer of non-current asset. Proceeds should be recorded and related to disposal. This is in terms of disposal. Next, in terms of depreciation. Depreciation rate are reasonable and it should be authorized, and calculation and confirmation of depreciation rates. You should perform the arithmetic accuracy and assessment of asset life. Okay, and all income from income yielding non-current asset is collected. So in terms of the procedure for receiving of cash or check from the disposal. Okay, and then you can perform the test of control. So you can look at to the this slide. Cash ada tak non-current asset? Ke tak ada dalam ni? This one is what? Inventory. Oh, I tak letak dalam dalam PowerPoint. Okay, the NCA. Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is the test of control for the non-current asset. So the key concern of the auditors will be proper control over the movement. The addition, movement of the non-current asset will include the addition of the NCA, disposal of NCA. So means that if the company have purchased a new asset during the year, so you have to look at in terms of the addition of the asset. Okay, and if it is disposed, so you have to look at to the procedure of disposal. So what should you, how you are going to perform the test, whether the procedure here is effective or not. You can take a sample of acquisition and disposal record in the NCA, confirm the authorization. Okay, look at in terms of the authorization on the disposal and addition. Inspect invoice to confirm that have been appropriately approved. So that's the sum of test of control you can conduct. Sama saja, and then you have the words here, re-perform a sample of reconciliation. Okay, reconciliation of the current, the non-current asset and the counting of the non-current asset. So yang tadi tu, okay, the asset register they have list, let's say they have list 100 of the non-current asset. So the 100 should be exist. If the 100, okay, let's say in the asset register just now they have listed 100 item. So this 100 should be exist. Okay, when you do the count, when you look at to the counting and existence, okay, you identify that the asset exists but not cannot be used anymore in the business. So you need to look at or to re-perform the sample of reconciliation that has been made by their admin, by the company or by your client. Verify the depreciation rate are authorized and are in line with the company policy. So in order to look at the authorization of the rate, ask the company policy how they charge the depreciation rate, how they estimate the depreciation rate. So remember depreciation rate policy. Okay, they are the policy. Okay, whether the depreciation charge in the year of purchase, okay, or depreciation charge is not depreciation rate is not charged in the year of purchase. So that is depends on the company policy on depreciation. So you have to recall back what you have learned in financial accounting. Review evidence of arithmetical accuracy of depreciation. And re-perform a sample of calculation. So you have the word re-perform here. So that is amongst one of procedure, okay, under test of control. Okay, so kita ada for the test of control, we only have 4 procedures, right? Inspection, observation, re-performance and inquire. So you have here re-perform. Okay. So any question on the NCA? Ada soalan tak? So if no question, then I want you to read this one. Describe the test of control you would carry out in relation to the NCA. Okay, so read read for A first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the test of control. Okay, that you are going to do when you carry out the test of control procedure on non-current asset. Okay, 7 minutes, right? Read answer for A. Okay, 7 minutes, everyone read the answer for A. Yes, at 11 we will stop, we will discuss. Okay, class, done? Done or not? Amira, dah siap? Dah baca dah habis?
Dah.
Okay, okay, you can see example that I share you in group, in WhatsApp group. Some example of sample of the PPE. Okay, so what you have in the shadow of movement. Okay, you have the shadow of movement. Okay, wait there. And then, okay, you have the detail addition. Okay, yang tu you boleh tengok sendirilah Later, disposal and the depreciation. Okay, do you have any question for number 1? Amni, any question Amni?
No question, madam.
So far okay? Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any question? So if you, I share the example of the document, you can check some of the example. Okay, when you prepare the test, when you perform the test of control, you have to know what are the procedures done by the auditor. So that's some example I can share you. Okay, from actually what the auditor did. Okay, in audit. Okay, so if no question, so I will proceed to the next one. Okay, so the purpose of the NCA. So what is the purpose of the NCA? Okay, when you get this kind of question, describe the purpose of the NCA. Describe, describe means you have to describe in one paragraph. Okay, the purpose of NCA is to be complete record. Okay, the complete record of all the tangible non-current asset owned by the company. Okay, it acts as a point of comparison between the non-current asset. So why you need to look into the NCA of the company. NCA of the company is not prepared by the auditor, is prepared by the company, but you have to examine, okay, the NCA, inspect the NCA of the company. Okay, why? How? Because you will see the non-current asset that actually exists and the non-current asset accounts in the general ledger. So you have to check whether the NCA exists and compare it with the NCA general ledger, because all the assets must be recorded in the general ledger. So here it's come under purchase of NCA, and it use the NCA account. Okay, NCA accounts. Okay, this will appear in the general ledger. Okay, and then this allow the company to carry out regular reconciliation to ensure that none of the assets has been lost or stolen. So when you, as I said just now, when they stated in their system of asset in the non-current asset register, they have 100 of items. Okay, so these 100 of item must be exist and recorded in the general ledger. Okay, so if the item does not exist, look at to the reconciliation. Okay, reconciliation made by the company, and ensure that all the assets are in good condition. So means that all the good condition and be used, okay, in the business. Okay, currently and according to the life of the asset. Okay, next question is, what information you expect to see, okay, to see recorded in the non-current asset register. So these are all the information you have to list down. Cost, addition or authorization, total depreciation charge over the asset life, the serial number or other means of identification, the code, okay, the serial number of the asset. So if those who can see in the class, siapa yang dalam class, you can see a list of non-current asset register, okay, beside the door. Okay, kalau you tengok kalau siapa yang dalam class. So dekat sebelah pintu tu ada list of current, list of non-asset and non-current asset register. So that one is documented, okay, or printed, okay, by the admin. But actually MARA also have their own asset register system. Okay, so you have to look at in the asset register system also, okay, whether what they have stated in each the printed copy, okay, actually is exist or not. Okay, insurance detail, maintenance record, dates of acquisition and disposal. Okay, so I think that's enough for the non-current asset. Any problem? Okay, so look at to the next question here. Describe the main control that a business should implement in order to ensure safe custody. So they are talking only on the safe custody of the tangible NCA. Okay, for the tangible NCA, so if they talk about the physical custody, okay, physical custody of the asset, your answer should focus on the physical custodian or physical custody of the asset. Okay, so custody of tangible non-current asset, okay, we'll look at from the physical side, lock away, okay, when not in use or outside the business hour. Okay, companies may also mark, okay, non-current asset with identification code. So like our college, okay, if the asset, so all the assets are locked. Okay, if let's say computer locked in the lab, so those who not have access to the lab cannot enter the lab, computer lab. So that is in terms of the physical custodian of the asset. Okay, if you don't know the answer, okay, you just relate what you have in the college. Okay, so in terms of the physical custodian, in terms of segregation of duty, okay, between the people responsible for authorizing non-current asset purchase and disposal, and those responsible for custody and those responsible for recording of non-current asset. So they have a segregation of duties. Kalau dalam college, all the hostel part, okay, will be done by the hostel admin. Okay, in the office, okay, we have admin, office admin. So they have a segregation of duties in terms of the people responsible, okay, for requisition and also authorizing, okay, the non-current asset procedure. And procedure for disposal. Okay, kalau dispose, kalau dalam college kita dispose, kita panggil dia terms pelupusan. So disposal will be done by one of the members. Okay, so dia ada the people responsible for that particular procedures. Okay, so that's why, okay, when you look at to the first just now, okay, the procedure here, look at here, obtain a copy of the entity's internal control procedure manual. So dia ada manual to determine the responsibility for the authorization, custody and recording of asset. So kena minta manual, buku manual dia. So who is in charge in authorization, who is in charge in the custodian and who is in charge in recording. So is, okay, inspect a sample of transaction to ensure that the procedure per the manual, okay, have been adhered to. So diikuti, dipatuhi. Okay, assess the roles of personnel responsible for non-current asset in order to determine whether suitable segregation of duties exists. So that's how you assess, okay, whether the internal control procedures has been adhered to the manual. Okay. So that is in terms of segregation of duties. Non-current asset register should be recorded in a non-current asset register maintained separately from the company general ledger and the cash system. So that is the non-current asset register. So the people who in charge in the non-current asset, so you have to look at to the manual back, manual of the company, manual of internal control. So they must have a separation of duties. So who in charge on the inventory? Different person. Who in charge of the NCA? Okay, different person. Who in charge in the cash and bank? Okay, different person. So in our college also, they have maintained this kind of situation. So for the inventory, okay, they have one people in charge. Non-current asset, one people in charge. For the NCA, okay, they focus only on the non-current asset register. Non-current asset register. For inventory, they in charge only on inventory. Okay, for the cash and bank, this particular person in charge only on transaction regarding or transaction involving the cash and bank. Okay, and then for the purchase and disposal also look at to the authorization. Okay, and then all the authorization, major purchase and disposal should be authorized by the board. And the last one you have to look at in terms of reconciliation. Okay, reconciliation should be reconciled to the general ledger, okay, on a regular basis by someone other than the staff member who maintain the NCA. So the person who maintain the NCA here cannot reconcile. Okay, cannot reconcile because it will give implication the person who maintain the general ledger or who maintain the NCA here will have a possibility to make the adjustment. So that's why reconciliation will be done by different person. And it should be recorded in the NCA. Okay, any question? So you know if the question come out on the NCA, how to answer? InsyaAllah, so you now already see lots of example already, okay, on the TOC question, test of control question. So any question class regarding the NCA? Ada soalan tak? Dah, senyap.
No question, madam.
Amni, any question Amni? Amni, Amira, I saw Amni, Amira, Fitri, Ada, any question?
No.
No. Yasmin, no question Yasmin?
No, madam.
No, madam. Okay. So, no question. 5 minutes break. Okay, 5 minutes break. After this, we continue with the cash and bank. Okay. Dah Ready? Everyone dah ready?
InsyaAllah, madam.
Okay, insyaAllah. Okay, we proceed with the cash and bank So cash and bank and cash. Okay, bank and cash. Get to the PowerPoint. Okay, can you see the PowerPoint?
Can.
Okay. So the cash system, or the bank, okay, you can refer also to the book, bank and cash. Manually refer to the receipt of monies from customer and payment to supplier and employees. Okay, what should you look at into the cash system or the cash and bank system? Okay, you have to look into the objective, okay, to ensure that all monies received are recorded, all monies received are banked, and cash and check are safeguarded against the losses or theft. All payments are authorized, made to correct payees and recorded, and payments are not made twice for the same liability. So you have to look at the activities, okay, to ensure that objective is achieved. So you have to look into the internal control system of cash of the company, and when you ask the question, so is the money received is recorded? If the answer is yes, so good, effective. Okay, all money received are bank, macam prosedur yang Jessica semalam tu. Okay, Jessica will not bank in the money every day. So that is not a good control system. Okay, so actually all monies received should be banked every day. Okay, and there must have a separation of duties between the person who maintain the accounts of cash and receipt with the person who bank in the money, and all the receipt bank should be kept, okay, in the accounting department. Okay, and then cash and check are safeguarded against losses or theft, should put in the proper custodian, and all payments are authorized. Okay, so must have a payment voucher. Okay, look at whether the payment voucher is issued or not, made to the correct place and recorded. Okay, payment are not made twice for the same liability. So what are the document? Okay, what is the control in order to avoid payment to make twice? Okay, so normally they have the check number. Okay, the pre-numbered of check. So normally company have their printed check. Okay, so these are the procedure. Okay, the control objective that all monies received are recorded. Okay, in order to avoid money is not recorded. Okay, what are the control activities? There should be a segregation of duties in place between those receiving the monies and those recording them in the accounting system. So this is what we looked yesterday in the Jessica case study, where the manager will do all the procedures. Okay. So if in the small company, okay, maybe that procedure is allowed but must have the control over the shareholders or the owner of the company. So what is other control activities? 2 people should open the post and record the amount received on a receipt listing. So this is what I taught previous class. Okay, on the receipt listing. So when the company receive the check, okay, or cash, so dia mesti ada receipt listing or others name is pre-listing of cash or bank. Okay, so means every money or cash received or or check received, it should be recorded in a listing. Macam asset register tadilah. So they have to list, okay, the check number, okay, the amount, the dates received, and who are the remittance advice. Okay, siapa yang bayar list tersebut. Okay, this information should be then be passed to the another member of the staff who will then record the entries in the cash book and write out the bank paying in slip. Okay, so dia akan compare dengan bank in slip. So that's why the person who bank in the money should produce, okay, or should give the slip, the paying slip to the particular responsible officer. Okay, and another member of staff should be responsible for banking any monies received. So this must have a separation of duties. Okay, separation of duties. Okay, so what the test of control to perform? Okay, to identify whether the control is exist or not. Okay, observe the process of the post being opened and money received recorded to ensure that the entity's internal control are being adhered to. Okay, so you have to observe entity. Inspect documentation, work such as bank paying in slip for evidence of each staff member carrying out their separate part of the process. So must have a segregation of duties. Okay. Second objective is to ensure that monies received are bank. So what is the control activities? Bank reconciliation should be performed on a weekly or monthly basis. So this is a monthly reconciliation or weekly reconciliation by someone not responsible for the banking, and the reconciliation reviewed by a supervisor or manager. So in other words, you have to conclude that the person who in charge in bank reconciliation should be different, okay, from the person who involved or responsible for the first one just now, this one. Okay, the person who record the amount, prepare the pre-listing, to record in the entries, okay, cash book. So it must be different. Okay, and it must be reviewed by a supervisor or manager. Okay, what test of control? Re-perform. So this is the word, re-perform the bank reconciliation to ensure it has been done accurately. Review the bank reconciliation for evidence of the supervisors or manager review being performed. So you have to review the bank reconciliation for evidence. You nak dapat evidence whether this one exists or not, whether the supervisor review or not, or verify or not the bank reconciliation prepared by the staff. Okay, the control activities next is customer statement should be prepared and sent out on a regular basis. So this is the customer statement or account receivable statement. Okay, account receivable statement. So you must send to the company should send to their customer together with the aging schedule. Okay, aging schedule. Okay, require, okay, from management as to whether inquire is one of the TOC procedure. Okay, as to whether customer statement are sent out on a regular basis and review customer correspondence in order to determine the level of errors identified as a result of customer statement being sent out. So this is actually to remind the customer on their amount owed. So in order to avoid the possible misstatement on the bad debt. Okay, bad debt. Okay, next control objective against the safeguarding against losses or theft. To ensure that cash and check are safeguarded against loss or theft. Unbanked receipt should be kept in a lock safe at all times. So letak dalam peti besi. Okay. Check book should be kept by a supervisor or manager and stored in a secure location such as lock drawer, cash tin or safe. Okay, so that's how they located their checkbook. Okay, checkbook. Okay, and physically verify. So what is your test of control? Physically verify the location of unbanked receipt checkbook to ensure they are kept securely. So nowadays, okay, the transaction are using the transfer. Okay, some company they apply to the bank to use the transfer fund. Okay, transfer fund transaction. Some company they do not use check because some customer they require the this transaction, transfer fund transaction. So what actually the bank do is the process here, they have to register first with bank. Okay, apply to the bank or apply to bank. Okay, and then normally they have two people involved. One is okay, the preparer and checker. Okay, preparer and checker on the transaction. Okay, for the transfer fund, and they must have the secure tag number for every transaction. Tag number. Okay, so this is a new one lah kalau guna teknologi sekarang. So some company they still maintain for the checkbook. Okay, some company they do both check and transfer fund. Okay, so you have to look at so this is the new things in the new norm, okay, of the business. Okay, sebab majority of the transaction now are using computer, so the payment also are using the computer. So you look at here whether the access here, okay, is done by the only responsible or only people with the power, who authorize, okay, who appoint them, okay, or is bank recognize them. So you have to look at it, okay, when you test the internal control system regarding cash and bank. Okay, next, to correct payee and recorded. That invoices are paid without being authorized. Okay, so we are going to avoid, to ensure that invoices are only paid once authorized and that payment is made to the correct payee and recorded. Correct payee and recorded. Okay, so what is the control should exist? All invoices should be authorized for payment and coded to the relevant supplier. So coded to the relevant supplier. Okay, because supplier here, the company already have their master file. Every supplier have their own code. Okay, so authorized for payment and coded to the relevant supplier by appropriate budget holder prior to the invoice being paid. And authorization of coding should be evidenced by a signature. Okay, how you want to test whether the control exists? Inspect a sample of invoices for authorization and appropriate coding. So that is to identify whether the authorization has been take place or not. Okay, and the second one, statement received from supplier. Okay, this is a supplier statement. Okay, supplier statement. Okay, supplier statement should be reconciled to the relevant purchase ledger account on a monthly basis. Okay. So kita ada reconciliation of account receivable, okay, reconciliation of accounts payable. So when talking about the payment, okay, you have to refer to the supplier statement reconciliation. When you are talking about receipt payment, okay, you have to look at to the account receivable statement, okay, reconciliation. Okay, so you terbalikkan je lah, depends on the situation. Any subsequent changes to the accounting record must be authorized. Any changes, okay, kita pun dah tengok case study sebelum ni kan. Any changes must be properly authorized. So what is the test of control? Review a sample of supplier statement reconciliation to ensure that they have been completed accurately and any resultant changes are authorized. Okay? Any question? And the last one is payment are not made twice for the same liability. So to ensure that invoice are not paid twice for the same liability, so the control activities, once paid, the invoice should be stamp paid. Okay, so kalau dah bayar, so it should be stamped with figure paid. Okay, so katalah invoice here, purchase invoice, PI. So you have put here, okay, paid. So that you have to look at whether the company have a stamp paid or not. Okay, so what should you do? Inspect a sample of invoices for evidence that calculation have been performed. Okay, and the invoice stamp as paid. So that's why you need to perform the test of control. Sample of invoice. So you must be specific. Inspect a sample of purchase invoice. Okay, for evidence that calculation has been performed and the invoice stamped as paid. And purchase invoices should be sequentially numbered. Okay, and the invoice recorded as paid on the system so that the computer will not allow the same invoices to be paid twice. So this is the control, key control that should exist. Okay, so mesti ada pre-numbered purchase invoice and stamp paid. So in order to avoid any invoice to be paid twice. Okay. So what is the implication if the invoice paid twice? So the amount of cash or bank, okay, will be understated. Okay, and the purchase amount will be overstated. Macam itulah. Okay, attempt to process a payment. Okay, attempt to process a payment. So attempt ni maksudnya you create a dummy. Attempt to assess a process for an invoice which has previously been paid to determine whether the system will block the payment. So this is attempt. You cuba. Okay, attempt to process a payment for an invoice which have previously been paid to determine whether the system will block the payment. So if you create a dummy, you attempt to the same invoices, okay, and if the system block the payment, so means that the system is effective. Okay, because it's already paid, okay, previously. Okay, any question? Okay, and okay, there's no exercise for the cash and bank. So, okay, maybe they have combined the answer, okay, the exercise in other system. Okay, macam semalam tu kita dah tengok Jessica, okay, also involved with the cash. Okay, previous example also you have deal with the cash. So this is only to highlight the importance about the cash and bank test of control. Okay. So no question So cash and bank ni simple kan? Tak ada soalan? Ada soalan tak?
Tak ada.
Tak ada So no question, then we proceed to the last part on the non-current liabilities. Okay, non-current liabilities. So what is the example of non-current liabilities? Last NCL. Tadi kita dah tengok NCA. Cash and bank, current asset.
Loan.
Loan, NCL. Okay, you have loan. Lagi? Is it long term or short term?
Long term.
Okay, long term loan. Sama? Lagi apa? Satu je belajar. NCL loan je. Lain tak ada. What you have learned in FA for the NCL? Yang you belajar lah.
Provision.
What is that, Amira?
Provision.
Provision. Provision non-current liabilities ke? Provision. Provision for what? Provision for? Is it provision for what, Amira? Provision for depreciation? Provision for what ya? Yang consider under NCL. Is it provision under NCL ke under CL?
Kejap Medu, kejap.
Provision yang mana satu? Kalau if you talk about provision for doubtful debt, provision for depreciation, that one is under current liabilities. Ni provision yang mana satu ni? Okay. You ada belajar debenture? Do you learn debenture in FA?
Not yet.
Not yet. FA dah habis dah. Not yet apanya? Ya ke Ami? Tak belajar debenture langsung? Belajar apa selain daripada long term loan? Debenture, apa lagi?
Bank overdraft.
Bank overdraft, current liabilities. Ni non-current liabilities. You tengok kat sini. Capital lease obligation, mortgage dia belajar. Loan, long term loan. Ni debenture ni, tak belajar. Ataupun preference shares.
Redeemable preference share.
Yes, redeemable preference shares. That is under non-current liabilities. Okay, dia redeemable preference shares ni, they have two features. Okay, one dia boleh jadi NCL, another one dia boleh jadi apa? Dia boleh jadi apa? Class?
Capital.
Equity. So dia ada dua ciri redeemable preference shares ni. Okay, one, they can become a non-current liabilities because they have to pay the fixed rate of dividend, okay, to the shareholders. Okay, so that is come under non-current liabilities. So for the redeemable preference shares. Okay, so you have to look at what the companies have for their NCL and the objective for the internal control to ensure authorization. So who approved the company to make a loan? So this is important. So loan and other long-term borrowing are properly authorized. Completeness, that all non-current liabilities has been recognized and disclosed. Okay, kena disclose under notes to the account. Okay, accuracy, the value of the liability has been correctly recorded. Value of liability has been correctly recorded, and that interest payable, okay, has been calculated. Because when we talk about non-current liabilities, you have to come together with the interest. Okay, and included in the correct accounting period. Okay, classification and understandability, long-term loans and interest on loan have been correctly disclosed in the financial statement. So sebab itu dalam presentation of financial statement KIAS 1, so dia ada presentation of financial statement, betul tak? Apa dah belajar ni semua ni? Ni.
Betul, madam.
Okay, so you must look at to the company whether they follow the format of the financial statement. So you start with the NCA, okay, current asset, and then you have total asset. Lepas tu represented by equities and liabilities. Okay, represented by equities and liabilities. So dalam liabilities tu you ada NCL and current liabilities. So it must be properly disclosed. Okay. And a major implication for the auditor is that debenture and loan agreement frequently contain condition which the company must comply. So sebab itu debenture ni and loan agreement, since it is long-term liabilities more than 1 year, okay, after year end, okay, all the agreement about the debentures and all the document about the loan agreement and debentures will be put in the working paper, current or permanent. This one, all this information regarding the debenture and loan agreement ni. Dia letak dalam permanent ataupun current file. Current or permanent kelas? Dia dah lupa dah. Audit working paper. Hani Adriana, kat mana letak ni? Information regarding debenture and loan agreement ni. When you have performed the test of control, okay, where you will put this information letter in the audit working paper?
Dekat current file.
Current file. Okay, current file. Okay, you will have to look at to the situation. Okay, ni, okay, betul lah ni. Okay, but if that is on the current year, baru kalau you buat it on the first time, okay, you perform the test on the first time, okay, you put it in the current file. If you are auditing for the recurring, so it will transfer to the permanent file onward. Okay, so maksudnya tahun kedua put in permanent file. Tahun ketiga refer to permanent file. So you no need to perform again every year. So that is the meaning of test of control ni. Sebab itu I pernah explain the test of control, okay, would only perform once in 3 years. So that's you have to know where you kept all that information. This may include restriction on the company's total borrowings and requirement to adhere to specific borrowing ratio. So that ratio. So bila borrow, okay, dia akan melibatkan pinjaman. Pinjaman dia akan melibatkan kecairan company. Okay, that ratio. So kita akan belajar di next topic. So that's why you have to look at in terms of restriction, okay, of the company's total borrowing. In this respect, it is important that internal control ensure that borrowings limit imposed by agreement are not exceeded. So you have to look at, that's why the borrowing procedure should be approved by the board of directors and within their budget. Okay, within the budget. So to avoid the company to have high gearing ratio. Nanti kita akan belajar what is high gearing ratio. So remember in the previous risk, kita belajar risk. What is the signal of the high risk company? When they have the high risk ratio. So this is what you have to look at in terms of the internal control. The company are not borrowing more than they have in their budget. Okay. New loan should be approved by the board and documented in the signed board minutes. Okay, mesti ada dalam board minutes. Okay, in the financial statement themselves, it will also be important to ensure non-current liabilities are correctly disclosed in accordance with the accounting standard. In particular, the capital elements of any loans repayable within 1 year should be classified under the current liabilities rather than under non-current liabilities. Okay, repayable loan. So you have the control objective. The NCL have been properly accounted for and recorded. So you have to look at the distinction between current and non-current liabilities. Okay, and then look at to the statement from loan or lease providers should be reconciled with the relevant ledger account on a regular basis. So relevant ledger normally in the general ledger. Okay, statement from bank. So this is a bank statement. Okay, if you want to see the document regarding loan, okay, you must get from the bank. Okay, where we call it bank statement. Okay, bank statement for the loan. Okay. Non-current liabilities are authorized, authorization of new loan, mortgages, etc. So those companies who apply for a new loan, okay, should be submitted to the board for approval. So it must, okay, within the approval of the board. Interest charge are accurate. The calculation of interest charge should be checked for accuracy. So you can perform select a sample of the interest charge and recalculate. Okay. So done on the NCL. So maksudnya kalau sikit ni tak penting lah tu. Okay, management information. Okay, so this one is the procedure for the company using the information system. Okay, rely on the timely and accurate information. So management information system, MIS ni adalah, okay, it's same as what you do in the accounting system procedure. So where all the information should be properly documented and the decision must be made by the board of directors. Okay, management rely on the timely and accurate information in order to make decision. Control should be exist to ensure that budget, variance report and other key information is accurate and available. So this is normally goes to the production company. Okay, production company ni sebab they must have a budget. Semacam you belajar MA Okay, you have to, the company need to make a decision, okay, whether to make or to buy, okay, whether that make or buy is within their budget and must prepare a variance report, okay, and other key information should be accurate and available. So normally it is the conducted by the control environment. Okay, so involvement by the higher personnel and then should be control in place to ensure budgets are properly set, report and information are provided on time to the specified degree of accuracy and detail. So, okay, this is actually what you done in management accounting. Okay, management accounting. So now you have to look at the process of management information there. Okay, whether it is highly involved by the control by the higher personnel, so by the board of directors, because you look at the involvement from the control environment, and it should be properly set and regularly checked. Okay, sebab itu normally if you look at to the Malaysian government also, okay, now is the process uh, to declare the budget. So that how it's work. So all the expenses and revenue should be operate during the budget that have been approved by the parliament. Sama jugalah in the company. All the information should be conducted in accordance with the budget approved in their board of meeting. So within the budget. So if there is when that's why when you audit the company, instead of you audit the financial statement, on the past financial statement, you also look at the information from the budgeted figure. Budgeted figure. So ada budgeted P&L. So budgeted from the management accounting information and the budgeted financial statement. Financial statement including the softfall, and comprehensive income, and also the financial position. And apa lagi? You have to test the information system. What you are going to test posting from the book of prime entry to the general ledger, confirm the general ledger is regularly balanced, test vouch a sample of journal entries to the original documentation. So that's what you do in the management information system. Okay. So done. This on chapter 9. Okay, any question? Okay, try question number. Okay, before we go further, look at to the quick quiz here. Number 1. If the client has a system of perpetual or continuous inventory count, what are the most important features this system should have? So you must be familiar that when the company using the maintain the inventory, they have a system called system of perpetual or continuous inventory count. So when they perform the inventory system, inventory system, so if they use it computerized system, normally they will maintain the perpetual inventory master file. When they have the perpetual inventory master file, the inventory count inventory count will do continuously. Continuously means that they do not perform the inventory count once a year. Dia bukan normally yang siapa buat once a year is they have not maintained the computerized inventory system. They maintain the manual. They use the store ledger card. Store ledger card. This is manual. Store ledger card. So manually maintain the inventory. Then they have the year and counting. So all the counting you should observe. Untuk inventory count, continuously count they might conduct the inventory count once in the month or every day. Like if you see the fast food fast food business, okay, KFC, McDonald, they will counting their inventory continuously. Every day, every night they akan count before they close the business. Okay, what should the auditor do? That you only come once, okay, in the year to observe. Sama jugalah, sama juga. Sama ada the manual or computerized, you only require to attend one. Okay, sekali saja. Okay. Okay, what if you look at to the inventory to the continuous counting. So the inventory count should be carried out regularly. All inventory should be counted at least once a year. Count should be carried out by staff independent. Sama juga procedure dia. And the result of the inventory count should be properly recorded and take account of goods in transit. The result of the inventory count should be reconciled to book of inventory records and records should be updated immediately for discrepancies noted. So that's the difference between perpetual inventory count and the manual store ledger card. Okay. So what control should business exercise over the inventory level? Okay, inventory level. So dia ada minimum, maximum level, lepas tu reorder quantity. Okay, yang macam you belajar masa MA. Okay, please answer number 3 ya. Okay, which of the following would be appropriate test of control in the audit of inventory? So yang mana satu test of control? So yang mana satu test of control? Okay, cepat. Siapa nak jawab? Mimi? Mimi answer Mimi? Number 3?
Sekejap madam, tak boleh baca lagi.
Do not look at to the answer first. Try. Which one is the test of control in the audit of inventory?
PNC. Okay, saya tak kasi nombor. 1 and 3.
1 and 3. 1 and 3. Agree a sample of inventory item to purchase invoice. So when you agree a sample of inventory to purchase invoice. Inventory item So test of control tu you dapat objektif apa? When you agree a sample of inventory item to purchase invoice, okay, what is the objective you will get? Dia kena check what is the objective. Okay, baru kita boleh tengok. Okay, objektif dia apa? Kat sini. Okay, kalau you agree a sample of inventory item, so you take one item from the inventory. Okay, katalah you take only code A1 for apa tu chip chip A lah. Kita pun tak tahu apa nama. Okay, and then you trace to purchase invoice. So what you have in the purchase invoice? Okay, salah. Okay, the purchase invoice. Okay, you have the date. Okay, you have the particular item. Okay, unit. Okay, you have the lagi. Okay, unit price. Okay, unit price, total. Okay, so you compare here. So what objective you will see? Maybe you will see the accuracy, okay, of the item. So dia beli item kat sini and dia ada total kat sini. So accuracy. Is the accuracy is under the test of control objective? No kan? Mimi So no. Sama juga dengan tu. Obtain details of last good out. Okay, at the inventory count. So obtain details of last good out at the inventory count. So actually you ambil you buat inventory count and you tengok details of last good out. So yang ni you nak tengok tentang valuation. The actual count, the actual goods tu masuk tak dalam inventory count. So is it the value of inventory is correct? So adakah valuation ni masuk kat dalam test of control? Mimi? Tak, okay. Review the system for safeguard the inventory. Is it masuk dalam test of control objective? Key control?
Masuk.
So this is under safeguarding the asset or adequate physical control of inventory. So this is physical control. Okay. Review the overhead allocation system. Review the system. Review the overhead allocation system. So this is one of the internal control system. So whether the manual, okay, is same as practice. So this is under the test of control. So what is the answer? 3, 4 ke 1, 3?
3, 4.
3, 4 So 3, 4. Okay, so go to number 5. Number 5. Number 5 siapa nak jawab? Ada. Ada jawab number 5 ke?
Jawapan dia D. D.
Okay, which of the following is not a test of control over non-current asset? So the answer is bullet 4 Review the condition. Okay, review the condition of the non-current asset in use. Right? Condition. Okay, tengok not. Review the system of authorized, yes, authorization, existent. Review whether a non-current asset register exists. Review the system of authorization of non-current asset disposal, authorization. Review the condition of the non-current asset in use. Okay, not a test of control. So D betul. Condition D. So ini okay, do you have any argument regarding D? So condition ni dia kan bawah mana? Objektif yang mana? Condition. Okay, dia masuk bawah valuation. Okay, valuation of the current asset, non-current asset. Yang ni adalah substantive test. Sama juga macam number 1 and number 2 ya. This is substantive test. Yang ni pun substantive test. Okay. So done. Chapter 9. So I already put in your Google Classroom the weekend tutorial. Weekend tutorial tu do in group. Okay, do in group of 3. Okay, you dah boleh discuss kan? Those who yang dah complete vaccine tu discuss. And then have you moved to sharing bilik?
Not yet.
Not yet. So bila nak pindah?
Tak tahu, tak ada. Kita tak dapat apa-apa arahan lagi.
Tapi rasanya dah nanti si junior you datang minggu depan. 2 dengan 3 bulan. So saya dimaklumkan oleh pengarah, you all akan pindah bilik lah. Satu bilik 3 orang balik. Yang lelaki satu bilik 3 lah. Yang perempuan pun satu bilik 3 orang. So since you are already lengkap kan, vaksin dah lengkap kan, ada rasa 2 orang je yang masih belum. Siapa? Christina Emilia
Christina dah, dia kan balik vaksin.
Dia tak lengkap, dia 14 hari.
Belum, yang tu belum.
Siapa lagi yang belum 14 hari?
Dengan Mirna.
Siapa? Amy
Mirna.
Amy belum. Okey, siapa yang belum lengkap 14 hari? Christina. Lagi?
Mirna dengan Amy Syahira.
Amy Syaira. So 3 tu yang belum lengkap tu duduk discuss bertiga. Duduk asing-asing. Yang lain dah lengkap boleh duduk dalam grup. Ikutlah you pilih lah 3 orang and then submit answer. Okay, by group. Yang lelaki tu satu group lah, tak ada pilihan. Okay, by group So put in the Google Classroom. Okay, ada 2 soalan je, tak banyak. Okay, so if no question kan? Saya yang cakap no question. Do you have any question, class?
InsyaAllah so far tak ada.
Okay, kan salah sebut kan? You kata I ni pula. Okay, letak dalam CE3, CE2. Adalah student letak lecturer pilih kasih lah, apalah. Aduh. Okay. So if no question, then we start the class. Okay, siapa tadi? Naim. Doa penutup Naim. Naim ke ada tadi Saya pun dah lupa. Siapa-siapalah yang ada.
Saya bila.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wa as'ina al-insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa 'amilus solihati wa tawassaw bil haqqi wa tawassaw bis sabr.
Amin, amin. Okay, class. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. Do homework Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Mirna.
Siapa yang nak tanya tu?
Saya nak tanya.
Amy. Emilia nak tanya apa?
Amy tak nak balik bilik.
Amy tak nak balik bilik?
Dia suka duduk seorang-seorang.
Saya pun.
Habis tu macam mana tak cukup? Kan junior awak akan duduk ni. Junior awak pula quarantine pun tak duduk seorang-seorang.
Saya baru je tukar bilik, madam.
Awak ajaklah ke kawan awak tu duduk bilik awak.
Junior berapa ramai dia?
3 orang. Katanya 3 orang satu bilik.
Maksudnya bilik lama ke?
Tak tahu. Sebab dia kata, pengarah kata since you all dah boleh pergi kelas, dia akan letakkan you all dekat tempat yang internet yang kurang. Yang macam data tu kurang. Kurang ni lah. Apa? Nanti dia kata yang student FIA tu dia masukkan bilik yang laju internet, laju wifi. Sebab dia orang tak boleh, dia orang quarantine.
Tak boleh ke kalau kita stay bilik ni lepas tu yang maybe like maximum 2 people in a room. Payahlah pindah jauh sangat.
Itu, I tak tahulah Syamina. I dimaklumkan oleh pengarah saja. Saya bukannya jaga asrama. Nak cakap dengan saya kan selalu kalau saya okey je dengan student. Saya kata, saya ikut je you all tapi you cubalah deal dengan Puan Zaleha tu. Cuba deal dengan dia. Saya tak tahu tentang asrama, saya ikut je apa yang asrama, kan kita ada segregation of duties. Saya program je.
Maksudnya kan madam, FIA tu masuk bila?
FIA masuk 2 dengan 3.
Uish, dekat dah.
2 dan 3 Oktober. Saya tak pastilah siapa masuk 2, siapa masuk 3. Ada ustaz bagi senarai nama, saya tak tengok pun.
Maybe boys dulu kot. Lepas tu diorang akan vaksin macam kita orang lah.
Diorang dah ramai dah dapat. Ada beberapa orang je yang datang lewat untuk vaksin. Ada berapa orang dah. Tapi majoritinya diorang dah lengkap dah vaksin. Dah 60% lengkap. FIA berapa ramai? 63. 63. Beza 4 orang. Dia orang 3 kelas je. Apa je Amelia? Bila boleh apa? Face to face. Nak tunggu siapa yang tadi tu lengkap vaksin tu? Awak lah yang tak lengkap vaksin. Tak, bukan. Kristina. Lepas tu siapa lagi yang tak lengkap tadi? Ada kelas lain juga kan? Lepas tu tunggu si Usop tu sebab dia dah kuarantin kat rumah 14 hari. Tak payahlah lagi sebab dia dah kuarantin 14 hari. So nak tunggu Kristina. Lepas tu siapa lagi Nurin kot. Nurin Adina bukan? Siapa yang pergi vaksin dengan Miss Hana itu hari? Syaira. Betul. Syaira, Kristina. Siapa lagi entah. Ada kelas lain lah. So kita tunggu habis vaksin tu lengkap. Kita buat face to face lah. So you all nak revision face to face ke nak tu? Saya cuba tanya dengan konsultan tu kalau dia orang boleh face to face sebab kalau dia nak lah, kalau dia tak nak kena buat ni jugalah. RP. Itulah saya pun nak face to face sebab tapi kalau face to face dia macam mahal sikit lah. Kalau student setuju nak tambah sebab kan kita orang minta 150 je kan. 150 tu memang dia punya consultation punya rate lah. Tapi yang bayaran penginapan, makanan dia tu dia selalu charge lain. Kalau student boleh bayar, okey lah.
Berapa tu dia tambah?
Saya tak pastilah sebab rate yang lama tu lagi macam tambah dalam RM50 seorang jugalah.
Hari tu dah lebih.
Oh, okay, kalau setuju nanti saya discuss lah dengan, kita ambil juga team yang sama yang dengan you all punya tu timba tu kan, timba college tu. Saya ambil team tu jugalah tapi orang lain lah kot. Yang ikut kepakaran dia orang lah. Boleh kan?
InsyaAllah.
Sebab audit ni tak ramai, 17 orang, tapi kalau tetap juga satu lecturer. Sebab dia akan jadi mahal lah sikit kepada FAU-nya student. Tapi okey lah kot, ada lagi duit lebih kan. Nanti saya discuss dulu. Kalau dia orang nak lah, kadang lecturer ni pun takut juga face to face. Sebab dia dah daripada KL kan. Kalau dia orang setuju nanti, saya sedang dapatkan quotation daripada dia. Sebab quotation tu saya kata online. Kalau you all minta face to face, nanti saya cuba tanya face to face.
Madam. Saya nak tanya pasal soalan tadi. Kan tadi kan soalan 3 tu, waktu dekat obtain details of last goods out of inventory counts kan, manager cakap valuation kan. Tapi dekat macam depan kat inventory system ni, dekat control objective tu kan ada valuation of inventory. Tapi madam cakap untuk soalan ni guna control objective. Tapi ada valuation. Saya tak faham macam mana saya nak tentukan benda tu.
Dekat inventory valuation, test of control tu. Page berapa dalam buku? Kita tengok page berapa? Beritahu saya page.
201.
201. Sebenarnya kadang buku ni pun confuse juga sebab dia sepatutnya dia kena asingkan. 201 nombor berapa tu? Semina. Valuation of inventory to ensure that the system value inventory correctly, allowance is made for slow moving, obsolete and damaged inventory. Valuation of inventory, control objective. Yalah, kenapa saya pun tak perasan. Valuation of actually dia costing system value inventory. Oh, dia nak check on the system saja. Dia check on the system, bukan dia check on the valuation. System of valuation of inventory. System tu, Syabina.
Sistem tu yang baru control objective tu. So tak termasuk dalam test of control lah kan?
Dia bukan valuation macam kita tengok test yang spesifik tu. Macam tadi tu dia test kan individual item kan. Dia kata agree a sample of inventory item to purchase invoice. Yang itu